Good morning, class. We're in social studies. Remember, you can find your book online, TCI, on the Clever account. We're on page 104 today. Quick review from yesterday, though. Yesterday we talked about the swamps and the savanna, which is the grassland swamps, low area covered with water, and hurricanes, these powerful storms that we see a lot of in the southeast. We started in the Everglades National Park located in Florida. It's a sanctuary set up to protect plants and animals. Lots of water there, but not very deep water, so they use those fan boats to get around in the Everglades. Then we went up the coast to Cape Canaveral, Florida, where they launched the space shuttle, where they used to launch the space shuttles out of, and we got a chance to check that out. We went up there by a boat, a fishing boat. Today we're on to Jamestown, Virginia. I'm going to turn back to the map now. We were in Florida. Here's Florida down at the bottom. And now we've gone up to Virginia, up to Jamestown, located up here. Actually, it's located up the river. Some of the first settlers that came to the United States of America came to the northeast, and some of the first settlers came to Jamestown. Well, let's read more about that. In your packet, you should have your Wednesday notes. Again, it's two-sided. We're going to cover Jamestown, and we're also going to talk about coal mining and strip mining today. Today you can visit Jamestown. People demonstrate what life was like in the 1800s. So this is actually a picture of today, but they're faking like they were there with some of the first settlers. We have traveled quite a distance along the east coast of the United States and have reached the state of Virginia. You are looking at a site of Jamestown, Virginia. Jamestown was the first permanent English settlement in America. In the spring of 1607, settlers from England chose this spot on the James River to build a colony. John Smith, one of their leaders, called it a very fit place. He was wrong. The land was swampy. Mosquitoes also made life miserable, and they carried a dangerous disease called malaria. By summer, many people in Jamestown were hungry. The forest around Jamestown was full of food, but the colonists didn't know how to find it. By fall, many of the colonists were dead. You'd think that they would die over the winter, but no, many of them died over the summer. They were unable to find food. For many years, the pattern continued. New colonists arrived during the spring, but by winter, most had died. However, in 1612, things started to get better. The colonists found a crop that grew well in this area. It was tobacco. Virginia tobacco sold well in England, and the colony began to make money. In the 1619s, an English ship arrived in Virginia colony. Its cargo included 20 African Americans. They had been taken from Africa by force and were sold as workers. By the mid-1600s, Africans were being sold as slaves in American colonies. My ancestors, were Africans. Now, my, meaning the guy who is reading this to us. If we go back to our ship director, it was Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis, his ancestors were Africans. They were brought to America in the late 1600s, and they were forced to work as slaves on large farms. At this time, it is time to leave the trawler now. That's the boat we're on. We have a bus waiting for us that will take us to the next part of our journey. Okay, they didn't say much about this. Obviously, this was wrong. This was contrary to God's word. To capture some human beings and force them to be slaves is not something that God would have approved of, especially if some of these slaves were mistreated. And so this was a very sad time in our history where one group of people is going to try to use another group of people to make money. Let's look at it as our worksheet goes. It says, what makes Jamestown unique? Okay, Jamestown was actually the first permanent English settlement. I'm finding it right here. Many other settlements started and then the people went back to England, or the settlement started and everybody died over the winter. here they started, and more people kept coming, and yes, a bunch of them died, and more people kept coming, and yes, some died, but they were able to establish this as a permanent residence. Why was life so difficult in the Jamestown colony? I think they gave us two big things. The land was swampy. We have our nice warm houses. In this day, they would have had to build fires, and to go and get all wet would not be very easy to warm up unless you had a raging fire going in your little huts that were probably not insulated as nice as our houses are nowadays. So the land was swampy, and they had lots of mosquitoes. And maybe we should put a little equals. They carried malaria, which was a disease that killed some of the colonists. They didn't have immunity to it. Okay, how did the colonists make money? They finally figured out a crop that would grow here, and tobacco grew great in Virginia. Virginia tobacco sold well in England. And what do you do with tobacco? Well, you do tobacco as you smoke it like a cigarette, or you put it in a pipe, or there's actually chewing tobacco. All things that are really, really not good for your health, and yet a lot of people do them. Cigarettes nowadays are super expensive, and you can make a lot of money selling tobacco. Okay, why were slaves from Africa brought to Jamestown? They needed more help. To work the fields. I'm going to also put they needed free labor to make more money, which is really kind of sad because money really motivates a lot of evil, doesn't it? We're going to find in our next section that the money that they wanted to get for the coal also was motivated by greed, and it brings evils. All right, section number 4, a coal mine in Appalachia. Welcome to Appalachia. This mountain area is located in the southern part of the Appalachian Mountain Range. Appalachia has no exact boundaries. It covers most of West Virginia and parts of several other states, including North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. A bus is a good way to travel through these mountains. Let's go back to our map and see where we were. Here we were at Jamestown on the James River. And now we're going to check out all of this. West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. This area right in here is Appalachia. The southern part of the Appalachian mountain chain is called Appalachia. Appalachia is too hilly for large-scale farming, but it is rich in minerals. The definition for minerals is here. A mineral is a natural material found in rock. Minerals are natural substances found in rocks. One important mineral is coal. Coal is used to heat homes and produce electricity. We have an electricity plant right here in Wisconsin. Down in Racine and Kenosha, there's these huge coal plants, and they burn coal and they make electricity for We Energies. There are underground coal mines in Appalachia. Miners have dug tunnels into the mountain to get the coal hidden inside. Some coal also comes from strip mines, like the one you see here. Strip mines are mines that are found on the surface. Miners use heavy machinery to strip away the dirt and rocks covering the coal. Then they use giant shovels to dig the coal out of the mountain. Now this machine right here is the size of a house. That's how big that is. This machine here, if it picked up one big scoop and dumped it on top of your car, it could cover your car. That's how big that shovel is on this machine. And so you can see these mountains are huge, and so that's worth a lot of money. And again, here we are destroying something because we're greedy. Last fall, I went to a bluegrass music festival near the mine. Bluegrass is the traditional music of Appalachia. It is played on banjos, guitars, and fiddles. I record a lot of the old songs. The fast beat of this music always makes me feel good. Let's get back on the bus and learn more about the music of the Southeast. Let's check out our reading notes for today. The Appalachian Mountains can be found in which states? There is a number of them at the top. We'll start right here. West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Why is coal important? Coal is important. Coal is used to heat homes and produce electricity. What is one advantage and one disadvantage of strip mining? All right, so here's the advantage. I'm going to put the plus sign here. The advantage is you can get large amounts of coal faster. All right? And if you get the coal faster, you can make more money. If I get 10 tons of coal today by digging it out of a cave, or if I get 40 tons of coal today just shoveling it off the top of the mountain, obviously I'm going to make 4 times as much money strip mining. Okay, what's the negative of strip mining? It destroys the land. They just take the whole top layer of dirt, which includes all the trees and all the plants and everywhere that the animals want to leave, and they shovel that out of the way, and then they get at their coal. Okay, what instruments are used in bluegrass music? That was right here at the end. Bluegrass Music Festival near the mine. Bluegrass is traditional music of Appalachia. It is played with, here they come, banjos, guitars, and fiddles. Someday when I grow up, I want to play the guitar. And then the last two was our definitions, and you can find those on the edge of your page here. Mineral. What is a mineral? It's a natural material found in rock. All right. And the last one, what is a strip mine? A strip mine is a place where minerals are scraped from the ground. Okay. All right, now it's one thing that I think you should do to prepare for your test is each day you should probably review the main points from each section as well as the definitions. That'll help you prepare you for your test. Our test will be next week. God bless your day.